Hello there and welcome. Today we're gonna talk about the Rolex Day Date President and its history. First, we gotta talk about what makes a Rolex Day Date a President. The distinctive feature of a Rolex Day Date President is the classical three-piece bracelet. So there are day date watches which are not a President. For instance, older day dates like the 1803 were available on an Oyster and even a Jubilee bracelet, whereas today the day date is only available on a President bracelet. To explain how the President bracelet became the decisive part of the watch, we must talk about the marketing model of Rolex. In the 1950s, Hans Wilsdorf, the founder of Rolex, started gifting watches to famous people when the company reached special goals like 50,000 watches produced. Many of the early recipients were politicians and military generals like Winston Churchill with his custom golden Rolex Datejust. At this time, the brand invented the marketing method, which later became known as brand ambassadors, and which is still mainly used by the watch brands today. Now there are a few different stories as to who was the president that gave the Day Date bracelet its name, but one seems to be the most likely version. Lyndon B. Johnson, the 36th President of the United States, didn't receive a gifted watch, but he still wore a Rolex Day Date with a 3-link bracelet. During his presidency, he was often seen with the watch in public and on photos. Even though Johnson was not a brand ambassador, he was indirectly used as one. Rolex utilized that the US president wore the Day Date and launched an ad in 1966 which showed the Day Date on the President bracelet with the famous red phone and called it the President's watch. To say that the ad was a success would be an understatement, as everyone now knows the watch as the President. Today no president would touch a Rolex Day Date during their term of office. In the modern days, the US presidents need to look down to earth and accordingly wear watches that a normal person could afford. Take Obama for instance. During his term, he wore watches like a Tag Heuer Series 1500, which costs about $1,000. As soon as his presidency was over, he wore a Rolex Cellini, which costs around $14,000 in his official portrait. The watch you see here is a Rolex Day Date reference 1803 from 1968. The watch has an acrylic crystal, a President bracelet without the hidden clasp, and is made from 18 karat yellow gold. This piece also has a pie pan dial, which can only be found in the 4-digit Rolex references. For those who don't know what that is, the dial has a flattened edge which kind of looks like a classical pie pan if you turn it upside down. As always with Rolex's bracelets, the president feels great on the wrist and really differentiates itself look-wise. One problem though is that the bracelets with more parts per link are more vulnerable to develop stretch after years or even decades of wearing it. This bracelet is one of the better examples, since the stretch is little and there literally are no Jubilee or President bands that have been worn and have no stretch. The caliber 1556 doesn't have a quickset feature, but it's not as big of a problem as one might think. After setting the day first, you can go back and forth between 9 PM and 3 AM to set the date. The newer 5-digit models have either a single quickset function for the date, or starting with the 18238, a double quickset for both day and date. Wearing a golden Rolex feels way more overkill than it actually is. A GMT Master 2 now costs $14,000 on the secondary market, whereas an old Day Date watch starts at around $9,000. Yet the Day Date looks and feels like a $30,000 piece. This probably originates from the image of the Day Date as the president's watch and the depiction in the media by people like the mob boss Tony Soprano. There is a reason why the Day Date is the top of the line Rolex and is only sold in precious metals. Now you can see this as a pro or a con, but even people that don't have anything to do with watches will likely recognize the piece and its value. With all of this said, the Day Date has a special place in Rolex's lineup and in the heart of the brand's fans. The watch is a synonym for success and wealth, and people will see it as that, if you like it or not. Even I ask myself what CEO or Mexican drug lord bought the watch back in the 60s, and what it may have went through during its life. If you like golden watches and are conscious of the image that this watch has, the President Day Date is a nice watch and still has good value for the money. Would you wear a full gold watch or a Day Date in general? If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if it wasn't your cup of tea, tell me why in the comments down below.